What's up, Bully App? It's your girl Hannah here on this first day of fall. I got my cup of coffee here, sipping on some coffee, and it actually feels like fall in Alabama. Now, I'm not sure where you're from. I'm not sure where you live, but I'm telling you, it is as if Alabama knew that on the first day of fall, Alabamians wanted to feel like fall, because I actually have on a pullover and am super excited because this is my favorite time of year. I said this a couple of weeks ago on this podcast that this is my favorite time of year for many reasons, because once it gets to the end of September, then it's October, then November to then December, and it's like my three favorite months back to back to back. Football season's upon us, and now cold weather's upon us, and I cannot be any happier. But as we get into the fall and winter, it is important that we keep our immunities up, and that is really what the topic this month is going to be for the rest of September, is going to be immune health, immune support, how to support your immune system. And now last month, for the month of August, we discussed back to school. We talked about things we use. We had Amber and Chase Harrison shared their story with their kids on what they use to help their kids, not only in the classroom, but to stay as healthy as possible. But this month, we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about how do we stay healthy. What tools do you need to have in your Oli toolbox, so to speak, or your Oli wellness box that can help you stay above the wellness line? Now, that's what I say, whenever I feel like my immunities are kind of dipping below the immune line that I like, the wellness line, then we need to boost our immune systems, right? But my talk today is going to not only share 5 oils that I personally use and I love. I'm also going to talk about the raindrop kit for a second, and then I'm actually going to discuss why it's important for us to keep our immunities well. So all that to say, welcome into a brand new episode of the Oli podcast. Wow, that was quite the intro, Hannah. Good job. If you've not yet liked us on Facebook, please go do that. Obviously, our Facebook page is called Oli App. You can also find us on Instagram, and we have some fun content on there as well. And then, of course, you can subscribe here on our Oli App podcast. So once again, I am Hannah Stevens. I am one of the people here at Oli App who love what I do and love all of you as well. But I am one of our social media people. I obviously do a lot with the podcast, and I also do a lot with customer service. So I'm kind of the Oli App Swiss Army knife, so to speak, but I am so pumped to be here again with you today. So once again, welcome into the brand new episode of the Oli App podcast. Let's dive in. So today we're going to discuss a little bit on just immune support and why it's so important, because I feel like for some reason we've kind of gotten a place in society where we neglect our immunity. We neglect our immune system, and we forget that the Lord gave us a natural defense for fighting viruses, bacteria, and so on and so on. And so first off, I want to remind you that everyone has an immune system. Everyone may not have an immune system that's working well or have an immune system that operates correctly, but we all have an immune system. And especially if you are someone like myself that does have a well-oiled machine, so to speak, our immune system is working well, then we need to do whatever we can to keep that happening. And that happens when we eat well, we're exercising, we're getting good sleep. We need to do what we can to help our immune system, so our immune system do what it can to help us. It's kind of a two-way street, right? So our immune system is there to help us stay healthy, and it fights viruses and bacteria for us. But at the same time, we have to do what we can to best equip our immune system to do that. Think of it like a car. Our car gets us from point A to point B. And it does a good job protecting us from car wrecks, right? But if we don't take care of a car, if we don't get a regular oil change, if we don't make sure our tires are at the right pressure, if we don't make sure we have gas in our car before we go on a road trip, we're not doing what we can to make sure our car can get us from point A to point B. Same thing with our immune system. And so I just want to make sure that we discuss that a little bit today, because I feel like for some reason we're in a place in society where people no longer feel the need or the personal responsibility to take care of themselves. They rely on other people. They rely on the government. They rely on whatever to make sure that they are healthy. When in reality, we have what we need to stay healthy. And so that's kind of where I want to go today, and also share some things I do on a regular basis that I feel has really changed my life. Now, I'll say this, it's mind-blowing to me, because before I was introduced to essential oils, I don't really remember what I did to stay healthy. I think I maybe drank a cup of orange juice a day and said, you know what, that'll help me stay healthy. But I didn't really ever proactively take care of myself. I never really proactively took care of my immune system. And so, first off, let's discuss what an immune system is, because I think that it's, important that we discuss that. So the immune system simply protects your body from outside invaders, such as, like I said, bacteria, viruses, fungi, toxins, right? And our immune system is made up of different organs, cells, and proteins. They all work together to make sure that we stay healthy. Now, I want to specifically say this. There are two parts of the immune system: the innate immune system, which we're born with. So everyone's born with an innate immune system, right? But the second one, which is called the adaptive immune system, which is what develops when our body is exposed to microbes or chemicals released by microbes. So, like, for example, when we're released to viruses or bacteria, our immune system grows. So we have an adaptive immune system that gets stronger as we are, so to speak, introduced to outside invaders. Now, an innate immune system is a rapid response system. It kind of, on one hand, is the first to respond when there's an invader. So it's kind of like having a house system, right? It's kind of like having a security system. Our innate immune system is kind of like the outside security camera that kind of is the first to see the problem, okay? And the innate immune system responds when they see an invader, right? It's the first one to do its job. The acquired immune system, which is like the adaptive immune system, right? Which does its job differently, but these deal with this is what I'm talking about when we are exposed to viruses and bacteria. Antibodies are developed by cells called B lymphocytes. I think that's how you say it. And it's what the body does when it's exposed to something. So all that to say, our immune system is so important. And it is so important that we understand how important our immune system is so that we can better take care of ourselves and take care of our immune system. So what does that look like? When you think, okay, yeah, what does it look like to take care of my immune system? It's kind of like the car. What do you do on a regular basis to take care of your car? Do you regularly get oil changes? Do you regularly check your tire pressure? Do you make sure your engine and transmission are running correctly? Or do you just drive your car until you end up like Fred Flintstone when you have to use your feet to get from point A to point B? No, of course not. You make sure your car is in tip-top shape, or so you should, regularly. And so we do the same thing on the immune system. And what does that look like? It looks like eating well. It is scientifically known. It is proven. It is a known fact that when you eat sugar, it decreases your immune system. Now, some people don't know that, but it is true. When you eat sugar, it weakens your immune system. For example, I had a donut last night, so I already came into today knowing that my immune system is not at 100%. Whenever I eat something I shouldn't eat or I don't sleep the way I should sleep, and a lot of times they go hand in hand, my immune system is not at 100%. So I have a lot to do on my end to make sure my immune system gets to where it needs to be, whether that's making sure I'm taking vitamin C, whether that means I get an afternoon nap, whether that means I'm using raindrop oils. There are so many things that I do on a daily basis to make sure that my immune system is at the level it needs to be. So one thing that I think we need to also discuss is that there is a difference between proactively taking care of your body and responding reactively when you're sick. Now, for whatever reason, this did not click in my brain until after college. I don't guess I ever really realized that I had personal responsibility when it came to my health, but also didn't realize that if I take care of my body on a daily basis, I can proactively prevent things rather than having to react to them, right? So think of it like this. Think of it like getting your oil change on a consistent basis, regardless of what they tell you at Express Oil Change or if you get your oil change. Like if you just tell yourself I'm going every month or every 2 months, rather than just waiting until your engine is a disaster and then you react to that. Same thing with our immune system. When we learn to be consistently proactive, which means every day taking vitamins and minerals, every day getting good sleep, every day eating well, every day we're limiting your sugar, every day limiting your screen time, every day making sure you're getting outside and exercising, getting some vitamin D and fresh air and getting a good sweat on. Like when we have all of these things in order, we are proactively taking care of our body. We're making sure our immune system is in tip-top shape. For whatever reason, I used to only think about my immune system and only take care of myself when I was sick. I would actually get sick and be like, you know what? I should probably take some vitamin C. I should probably do this, rather than being like, Hannah, do this on a daily basis and you won't have to always reactively take care of yourself. So that's also very important when it comes to this conversation. Is not only do we need to support our immune system, we need to consistently be proactive. Whether it's your kids, whether it's yourself, whether it's your brother, your sister, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, everyone has the responsibility, the personal responsibility to take care of themselves. And there are so many things we do on a daily basis that can help us stay healthy, so we don't always have to just remember, oh, I need to use oils when you're sick, right? Like, no, you need to use oils all day, every day, right? So that's the introduction to what I want to get to, is the 5 things I use, the 5 oils, my go-to oils for immune support. Obviously, the first one's going to be the Thieves Roll-On. So you can say Thieves, Vitality, Thieves, the oil, and Thieves Roll-On all go together. But the Thieves Roll-On for me is my favorite because it's convenient. I always have it with me. It's in my car. If I'm on an airplane, it's in my carry-on bag, so I have that when I need it. And it's so important that we are always proactively taking care of ourselves. And so I have a Thieves on me at all time. I use it on my spine and my feet all day, every day. I have a roll-on that I also created myself with a bunch of different immune support oils that I have in an old Believe bottle that I put a roller fitment on, and I use that as well. So I'd say the Thieves Roll-On is top 1 for me. And then there's 4 more that I use. They're all ranked the same, so to speak, but they're so important. One's longevity, and you can use this in longevity, vitality in capsules, or you can just put longevity on your feet, and or on your spine diluted. So longevity is so important. Immune power is literally so important. Obviously like immune, right? Immune power is one of my favorite oils. I take it with me everywhere when I travel. It's always on me. If I ever start feeling a little iffy or a little sketch, so to speak, I immediately grab my Immune Power, put it on my feet and on my spine, and I dilute it on my spine. I never dilute oils on my feet. The other 2 oils I think are so important are Egyptian Gold. This is one that I also use in a nose swipe. So you have obviously Young Living's rose ointment, and I add some Egyptian Gold in Exodus 2, which we'll talk about in a second. But Egyptian Gold is so important as well for immune support and immune function. And then last but not least, we have Exodus 2. And Exodus 2 has become such an important oil for my personal immune system. It's something that I not only dilute, but I have found that I need it at all times. And it's an oil that when it's in stock, you've got to grab it. So let me go over some of the ingredients and some of these oils I just talked about. Obviously, Exodus 2, it has olive fruit oil to begin with, and it has myrrh, cassia, cinnamon, calamus, Northern Lights black spruce, hyssop, vetiver, and frankincense. So it is so powerful. And it is an oil that I think everyone needs to have in their wellness toolbox. So that was Exodus 2. Egyptian Gold, I want to share with you, is in that as well, because there's some ingredients that are similar, but I use them all regardless. So Egyptian Gold starts with frankincense, and then it has balsam candida, lavender, myrrh, hyssop, Northern Lights black spruce, cedarwood, vetiver, rose, and cinnamon. So you can see some of the similarities in Egyptian Gold and Exodus 2. Some of the differences obviously being more the rose, and obviously in this one you have balsam as well and cedarwood. So this one's more woodsy of an immune system oil. And then obviously we discussed a minute ago, longevity. I love this in capsules, but I also love using on my spine. And it's very simple. 4 ingredients. You have thyme, orange, clove, and frankincense. So it's really good for your immune system, and it's something that I love taking in capsules. Obviously, Young Living used to have longevity capsules, but they've been out of stock for a while, so I've, in turn, made my own longevity capsules. And then last but not least, Thieves. Obviously, Thieves is the OG of immune support when it comes to oils, I think, in Young Living, but super simple as well. Clove, cinnamon, lemon, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary. So you'll see some of the common ingredients will obviously be like cinnamon and clove, right? Those spicier oils are going to be very common in immune support oils because oils like cinnamon are good for your immune system, right? So all that to say, those are my five go-to immune support oils: Thieves, Exodus 2, Egyptian Gold, Longevity, and what did I just say? Longevity, Exodus 2, Egyptian Gold, Thieves, and oh my word, I am blanking on my mind. Thieves, Longevity, Egyptian Gold, Exodus 2, Emu Power. I didn't even talk about Emu Power, y'all. Emu Power, let me share the ingredients because it's going to smell more like a Mexican casserole because of one of the ingredients in there, but I love it. And the ingredients in Emu Power are hyssop, mountain savory, cistus, camphor, frankincense, oregano, clove, cumin, and dorado azul. So obviously the cumin is very powerful smell, and it kind of makes you smell like a taco, but it is an incredible oil that I think everyone needs. So those are the 5 oils I use on a regular basis when it comes to immune support. So next week on this podcast, I'm going to discuss some supplements I take, and how give you a backstory on my life and how much my life's transformed, because I used to constantly be sick. I was not well for many years, and by the grace of the Lord and by the consistent use of oils and supplements, I have completely transformed my body to be, I guess I just realized I needed to actually take care of my body, that my body is a temple and I need to do a better job taking care of it. And so I went from constantly being sick to finally feeling better and finally feeling like, I am a healthy 27-year-old. That's kind of when my body changed from like 24 to 27, or 3 years that I went from constantly being sick to finally feeling like I was a healthy person. So now I am a 29-year-old who is in incredible health, and that's because I became proactive and I took personal responsibility and self-responsibility and said, you know what? I'm not going to rely on anyone else but myself to take care of my body. Whenever I get a tickle in my throat, whenever I get a slight headache, I'm not immediately going to go to the doctor. I'm going to do what I can to proactively take care of my body. And I've realized there are triggers for headaches, right? When I eat sugar, when I don't sleep well enough, when I have a sinus infection, if I'm looking at blue light too much, there are certain things that give me a headache that is not automatically something horrible, right? Same thing with, all that to say, I'm going to save some of my stories for next week. But I just want you to know that you have the ability to take care of yourself. Your body knows what it needs. And that's also why I want to speak about the raindrop for a minute, because that's also something I use whenever I immediately feel like, I'm not feeling so hot right now. I grab my raindrop kit, and I'm a single person, so I don't have anyone living with me. So I don't have anyone who can apply them on my spine. So if you're married or have a roommate, whatever, you can have them put the oils on your spine. But even having them on your feet, it is mind-blowing how much better you feel, like overnight, like a night-to-day difference, and how much better you feel with putting the raindrop oils on your feet. And that's because it does the job it's supposed to do. You should Google it, Young Living Raindrop Kit, and just look at the science behind, because I'm not smart enough to explain it all, but there's a science that is behind the raindrop oils, and it is mind-blowing how much better I feel overnight from when I put it on my feet before I go to bed to when I wake up the next morning. It's like a night and day difference. Literally a night and day difference, but even metaphorically with how my body feels. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today on the Oleat podcast. I just want to encourage you once again to know that you have the ability to take care of yourself. You have the tools you need to make sure your immune system is where it needs to be. And as we go into the season of, weather changes and obviously fall and winter, with cold weather and all that to say, you need to make sure you're stocked up on all of the Young Living immune supporting oils. And like I said, my 5, Thieves, Emu Power, Exodus 2, Egyptian Gold, and Longevity. Those 5 are ones that I think you should have in your wellness toolbox. You should have at all times, and that you never want to run out of, because I'm telling you, you don't know how badly or how much you use oils and how badly you need them until you don't have them. So, all that to say, once again, I'm Hannah Stevens here for the Oleat podcast. I hope you have an incredible day. Enjoy this fall weather, and I'll be back with you next week. Bye, y'all.